Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. Welcome to my channel. I deleted I didn't delete it. I made it private, the video that I made yesterday, because basically what happened is I was talking about my feelings towards me getting employment and an incident that happened. And I'm not going to say everything that happened because I don't want certain people to see the video. But the thing is that somebody took a picture of me. I don't know if they took a picture of me or if they took a picture of something else. But I was told that they took a picture. And I wasn't told the name of the person who did it. But so I don't know if they took my picture or if they took a picture of something else, but it definitely was relating to me, and then they complained about me. So I don't know. I don't know if it was a picture that they took of me or a picture that they took of something else. But one thing that I do know is where I go for my day job, you're not supposed to be taking pictures anyway. And so basically somebody made a complaint about me. And so I spent the video talking about what happened, even though I didn't mention any names. I don't say where I live. I don't say where I work. I don't say my real name. But I didn't mention any names. But I just was feeling paranoid. And so I thought, well, I'll make that video private. And my boyfriend's upset because he said he wanted to watch the video. And I said, well, you can watch the video on my phone. So he can watch the video on my phone. But I was basically talking about my feelings that somebody took a picture and complained about me. When, and then there are lots of mitigating circumstances that I don't want to go into in this video, but I do know that I don't want, even though I didn't say anything bad in the last video, I just said what happened. And I just said my feelings about what happened. But obviously there's somebody at where I go for my day job going around taking pictures of me and complaining about me. And so I'm not gonna say what happened. It was really trivial, really, but it upset me a lot because I'm just a little office worker. And that's like what happened when I was working at Foster Wheeler. I was just a little office worker. But people are really petty and people are really sick. And so even when I was at Foster Wheeler, I was harassed out of my job. If you watch my previous videos, you'll know. But the thing is that still, I'm just a little office worker making a few pennies above minimum wage. And people are saying things about me and taking pictures. And so I found that quite upsetting. And so I made a video about it. And then basically this reminds me of Dr. Jessica Taylor's book, Click, Stop, Destroy. And she was talking about her personal experience of stalking and the personal experiences of other people of stalking. And so basically the thing that happened with me, it was to do with a lack of training. I didn't actually, they complained about me, but it was to do with a lack of training because I do work very hard. And so basically somebody with nothing better to do took a picture. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they took my picture or if they just took a picture of what the incident was. But they definitely knew my name, and they went and complained about me. And I was really upset about that because there's lots of mitigating circumstances that I don't want to go into in this video, because I don't want certain people to see the video. I don't want certain people to see the video. And like the other video that I made private, was the title of it was I Got Told Off Today. And so yeah, a lot of people wanted to see that video because it's bad news. People want to hear bad news, you know. And so in just a few hours, I had 22 views, which I don't have a lot of subscribers. So 22 views is quite a bit for the number of subscribers that I have. And for at least 4 of those views, I think, for mine. So I think maybe 18 of those views were legitimate people who legitimately wanted to know what happened. But basically, because I was feeling paranoid, and even though I didn't mention any names, I never mentioned my real name, I never mentioned the town I live in, I never mentioned my day job, but I was feeling paranoid. And I don't want, if people are so petty and vicious and malicious as to take a picture of me and complain about me, then if they saw the video that I made, they probably would complain about that. So I decided to make that video private. So I can't tell you what happened, but other than to say I made the video private, and to say that somebody took a picture. I don't know if it was a picture of me or if it was a picture of what happened, but I do know that somebody took a picture. And one thing that I do know is you're not allowed to take pictures at my place of work. So yeah, the person that took the picture, nothing happened to the person that took a picture, even though you're not allowed to take pictures at my place of work. But I got told off, and I was really upset because, I just, I'm desperate for work. I have to work. If you watched my previous video, then I've got to try to work for as long as the hospital is open, and that's going to be another 15 years. So I have to try to keep working. And it just so happened that right after I made that video saying that I need to keep working, somebody did that. And so that's why I had to make the video private so nobody can see it. But if anything happens, I'm going to put my point across, saying that one, I didn't have adequate training. Two, I shouldn't be doing that anyway. I was told to do something that I shouldn't have to do anyway. And then that was the problem, because I shouldn't be doing it anyway. And so I used my best judgment, but obviously my best judgment wasn't good enough. And so if I was working somewhere else, then they would have people who were employed to do that kind of work to do it. But they had me do it because they didn't want to do it. So I did my best. And so if anything happens, if I get spoken to about it, I'm just going to say, well, I did my best. And I'm going to say that, the problem was, and I'm going to say my thoughts on it. And I'm going to say that I shouldn't be doing it anyway. And I'll say I should not have had to do this anyway. I said, but basically that's what happened. And so I just don't want anybody to know what happened because of social media policies. And so I can't say what happened. But it was really petty and really trivial. And the simple fact that somebody took a picture and complained about me, I find to be really upsetting. So if they took a picture and complained about me, and they saw my last video, they probably complain about that too. So I made that video private. And unfortunately, I can't say anything more than that. And basically, so yesterday I was really upset. And then yesterday we went to Queen's Arms and we got food. And then last night I thought, oh, I should make that video private. So I made the video private so nobody can see it except me. And I have quite a few private videos. So if I make a video and I think, I'll go ahead and make it private. So I've got quite a few private videos. And then basically, we had chicken last night. And obviously, we had fried chicken. So fried chicken has carbohydrates in it. So I checked my blood this morning and it was 9. I think one time my blood was in the 6s. But that's few and far between. And then it was in the 7s, and then it was in the 8s, and today it's in the 9s. So I got hold of some butter, which I don't eat butter, but I was giving it at the handout. So I've been eating this butter, and I think that butter has something to do with it. But I don't eat butter normally, but since we were giving it at the handout, I thought, okay, well, I'll have that as a treat. And so this morning, I checked my blood and it was like 9 or something. So that's not good. That's not good. And, I have a lot of health problems. And I'm sure that the problems that I have in my day job are not helping my health. And so basically, then we got up and we went swimming. So we got up and we had toast for breakfast, toast and tea for breakfast. And then we went swimming. So we went swimming from 9 to 10. So we got up early. And so I swam a few, not full laps, but maybe a few half laps and stuff. But then I got a cramp in my leg and I thought, well, it's not safe for me to try to swim if I have a cramp in my leg. So about 10 minutes before 10, so about 9:50, I got out of the pool because I thought it's not safe for me to swim like this. And then, I told my boyfriend, I said, maybe we can build up, because you use different muscles swimming than you do walking. So I thought, maybe we can get our girlish and boyish figures back, but I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And then, and yesterday I've been talking to my boyfriend about this for a while, because I told him that for Christmas and birthday, I want to get him a tablet with a keyboard. And then so basically, then I remembered that the tablet he has actually has a SIM card in it. So he pays for internet on his tablet, and then he pays for internet on his phone. Because basically what happened when he started working for this window company called Anglian, he had to have an app on his phone. And so he was tethering the internet from his tablet to his phone. So I sort of wasn't really keeping up totally with what he was doing, but somewhere along the line, he got internet on his tablet and internet on his phone. So he was paying for 2 internets. And so when I told him that I wanted to get him a tablet with a keyboard for his Christmas and birthday, I remembered that he had a SIM card in his tablet. And I thought, well, he's not going to this tablet that I'm going to get him is going to be a Wi-Fi tablet. So it's not going to have a SIM card in it. So I went and spoke to him and I said, look, you need to cancel the SIM card on your tablet that you're using because you're not going to need it. And then so I wasn't really totally sure what was going to happen. And then found out that he had internet on his tablet and internet on his phone. So he's paying for 2 internets when he only needed 1 internet. So I said to him, I don't remember exactly when he got internet on his phone, but it must have been in the last few years because he went to 3, which 3 has now merged with Vodafone, and he got internet on his phone. And so that must have been the past few years. And then he's actually using my old phone because I let him use my old phone. And then so we said, well, you don't need internet on your tablet. If you've got internet on your phone, you don't need internet on your tablet. He told me that he was paying £23 a month. And so £23 a month, and he'd been doing that for close to 5 years, and just taking account of inflation and everything, you know, because I know 5 years ago it wasn't £23, but if you want to take account inflation and cost of living and stuff, we'll just take £23, multiply that by 12, multiply that by 5, and so that's going to be about £1,380 that he was paying for 5 years for internet on his tablet that he didn't need because he'd been working for Anglian right after the pandemic because he lost his leaflet delivery job during the pandemic. So for 5 years, pretty much, he's been paying for 2 SIM cards. So that was, so once this one SIM card is £23 a month. So we're going to say for 5 years, over a span of 5 years, he paid somewhere in the neighborhood of £1,400 that he didn't need to pay. So we went to Vodafone because 3 has merged with Vodafone. We went to Vodafone because we wanted to cancel his tablet SIM card. And they said, well, we can't cancel it for you, but they gave us all the information of this account for the SIM card. And then yesterday, my boyfriend phoned up 3. You have to dial customer services of 333, even though 3 and Vodafone have merged. And then basically, and I told my boyfriend, I said, you got to ring them up and cancel it. I said, they're going to try to get you to keep it, but don't do it, cancel it. So he phoned them up, and then he tried to cancel it. And so obviously, because they don't want you to cancel it, so they try to get you to keep it. So they were saying, oh, well, would you like a new tablet? Well, this new tablet would have a SIM card. And they said, oh, you only have to pay £13 a month for this new tablet. But we're saying that the contract would be 3 years. So 13 times 3 is 39, times 12 is going to be 390 plus 78. So that would be £468 for a tablet. So that's how much he would pay on a 3-year contract. Because my phone is on a 3-year contract, so I'm just assuming that the tablet would be on a 3-year contract. So I said, no, don't do it, don't do it. Just get a Wi-Fi. Just get a Wi-Fi tablet. And so they tried their hardest to get him to keep that SIM card to take another tablet. But he didn't do it because we can get a Wi-Fi tablet, something that he can go out and pick out and light, and for less money really. And so he was really happy that he canceled this SIM card for his tablet for which he'd been paying about £1,400 over a period of 5 years. And he said we were friends with this fraudster, and this fraudster defrauded him of a sum of more than £1,200. And my boyfriend said, yeah, that was more than this guy stole off me. So he had to suffer the indignity of a fraudster stealing about £1,300 off him. And then he paid three about £1,400 extra that he didn't need to pay. So he was really happy. And then so when I came home today, when he came home yesterday, he bought me flowers. And I said, well, what's the special occasion? He said, oh, I wanted you to buy you some flowers for a while because you're so special to me and you mean so much to me. And he said, you saved me all that money. He said that he would have kept paying for that tablet if I hadn't said something. So I saved him some money, although he paid £1,400 that he didn't have to pay. And so, yeah, and then in addition to that, I was talking about my Sikh friend. My Sikh friend is being exploited financially as well, and one of these people that is exploiting him is not giving him the money back. And so basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to tell my Sikh friend, and I told him, I said, let's find out all these bank accounts that you've had. So I was going to go to all these banks, and I was going to get bank statements for the amount of time that this man was supposed to be repaying him money. And I wanted to get bank statements to prove that he had actually given him the money. But my Sikh friend won't allow me to do that, because, and then when I got the bank statements, I was going to put it in an Excel spreadsheet to say how much money he'd given this man, and then how much money the man had paid back, so we could keep a record of all these financial transactions. But my Sikh friend won't let me do it, and the reason why, at first he said, I don't want you to do it because you've got so much to do already. I said, no, that's all right, I don't mind doing it. And then he said, oh, I've had lots of bank accounts. I said, that's okay. We will go to all these banks and get these bank statements. And I'm going to put all this money in an Excel spreadsheet. And then he said, then it came out that he had entered into another arrangement, financial arrangement, that he doesn't want anybody to know about. And because of that, he won't let me sort out how much money this man has been paying him that owes him. So I can't do anything about that because he won't allow me to, because he entered into a secret financial arrangement with this man. And since he entered into a secret financial arrangement with this man, he doesn't want anybody to know it. And as a result, I can't go to the banks, get his bank statements, find out how much money he's given the man and how much money the man has paid him back. And so I can't do anything about it. He won't let me. But I told him, I said, this man knows you have a learning disability and he is exploiting you. And it's starting to get nasty. It's starting to get nasty. But I can't do anything about it. He won't let me do anything about it. So that's it for my 2 days. You know, a little bit about what happened that caused me to have to make a video private. And, you know, about me helping my boyfriend cancel the SIM card on his tablet, because for Christmas and birthday, I want to buy him a tablet with a keyboard. And he said yes, he would like that. And then, you know, about my friend who I'd like to help, but he won't let me help him. So he's got himself in a right pickle. and there's not much I can do about it because he won't let me help him. So that's it for my video. So thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for taking an interest in my very, very pathetic life.